Do you use any touch device? Let us talk about it. A touch screen is a display device that allows users to interact with a computer using their finger or stylus. They're a useful alternative to a mouse or keyboard for navigating a GUI, graphical user interface. Touch screens are used on various devices, such as computer and laptop displays, smartphones, tablets, cash registers, and information kiosks. Some touch screens use a grid of infrared beams to sense the presence of a finger instead of utilizing touch-sensitive input. The idea of a touch screen was first described and published by E.A. Johnson in 1965. In the early 1970s, CERN engineers Frank Beck and Bent Stump developed the first touch screen. The physical product was first created and utilized in 1973. The first resistive touchscreen was developed by George Samuel Hurst in 1975 but wasn't produced and used until 1982. Today, all PCs support the ability to have a touchscreen, and most laptop computers allow users running Microsoft Windows 10 to use a touchscreen. Also, many all-in-one computers are capable of using a touchscreen. Computer manufacturers with touchscreen products include Acer, Dell, HP, Lenovo, Microsoft, and other PC manufacturers. There are also some high-end Google Chromebooks with touchscreens. However, to help keep the costs lower, many Chromebooks do not have touchscreens. All Apple computers and laptops do not have touchscreens. However, other Apple devices, like the iPad and iPhone, support and use touch screens. If your laptop screen is not touch capable, there is no way to change the screen to a touch screen. The laptop must come with a touch screen when originally purchased to have that functionality. When purchasing a laptop, and you want touch screen functionality, check if it includes a touch screen before buying. If your desktop computer monitor is not touch capable, there is no way to change the monitor to a touch screen. You need to purchase a new monitor that includes touch functionality. Before purchasing a new monitor, verify the operating system on your computer also supports a touch screen. To help keep costs lower, not all computers and laptops come with a touch screen. If a touch screen interests you, ensure it's mentioned in the product specifications. The computer likely does not have a touch screen if it's not listed. Mac computers and the Mac OS currently do not have or support a touch screen. Not all touch screens have the same functions, but the actions below are the most common. Tap. A single touch or tap on the screen with a finger opens an app or selects an object. Compared to a traditional computer, a tap is the same as clicking with a mouse. Double tap. A double tap can have different functions depending on where it is utilized. For example, double tapping the screen zooms the view centered at the tap location in a browser. Double tapping in a text editor selects a word or section of words. Touch and hold. Pressing and holding your finger to a touch screen selects or highlights an object. See our long press page for further information on this term. Drag. Pressing and holding your finger on a movable object, such as an icon, you can drag your finger to pull the object to a different location. The same action, used with text, lets you highlight text. Lift your finger when you are done moving or highlighting. Swipe. Swiping your finger across the screen scrolls in a certain direction, or changes the page. For example, pressing your finger at the bottom of the screen and quickly moving it up, swiping, scrolls the screen down. See our swipe page for further information and related links. Pinch. Placing two fingers on the screen in different spots and then pinching them together zooms in. Pinching your fingers together and moving them away from each other zooms out on the screen. See our pinch to zoom page for further information on this term. Any computer device, including a touch screen, that takes input from the person operating the device is considered an input device. How you use your finger on a touch screen is very similar to how you use a computer mouse on a desktop computer. Technically speaking, a touch screen is an input/output device. Not only is it capable of accepting input, but it also displays the output from the computer. A computer mouse and a touch screen have many similarities. Many of them are mentioned in the How Do You Use the Touch Screen section above. One of the most significant differences between a mouse and a touch screen is the ability to hover. Almost all touch screens can only detect input when your finger is in direct contact with the screen. However, a computer mouse uses a cursor that allows the user to view the information by moving the pointer over an object but not clicking it. For example, this link to Computer Hope shows the text "Visit the Computer Hope page" when hovered over using a computer mouse. However, a user with a touch screen cannot see this text because it opens the link if they place their finger on the link. Some web pages and apps may simulate the hover feature by making the first tap do the hover feature and the second tap open the link or app. Also, some Apple devices use Force Touch, which offers features similar to hovering. Today, the touch screen is a popular type of input device. Below are some places and examples where touch screens may be used. All-in-one computer. Arcade game. ATM. Car GPS. Camera. Car stereo. Cash register. Digital camcorder. E-book. Electronic whiteboard. Factory machine. Fitness machine. Gas station. Grocery self-checkout machine. Handheld game console. In-flight entertainment screen. Kiosk. Laptop. Large interactive screen. Medical equipment. POS machine. Sewing machine. Signature pads. Smartphone. Tablet. Ticket machine. Touch screen printer. The reasons a manufacturer may use a touch screen instead of another input method, such as physical buttons. Touch screens are intuitive, especially for younger generations of users. Having one touch screen instead of several buttons can make a device smaller. Cheaper to design and manufacture a device with one screen instead of one with a screen and buttons. Touch screen technologies. Not all touch screens are the same. Different technologies are used to allow a user to interact with a screen. Some technologies may work with only your finger, while others may allow other tools, like a stylus. Below is a brief description of each of these technologies. Capacitive. A capacitive touch screen is coated with a special material that stores an electrical charge monitored by circuits at each corner of the screen. When you touch a capacitive touch screen, a small amount of the electrical charge is drawn from the point of contact to indicate where you touched the screen. To use a capacitive screen, you must use your bare finger or a specially designed capacitive stylus. Most users experience this type of screen technology when attempting to use a smartphone touch screen while wearing gloves and cannot do anything. There are specially designed gloves that allow one or more fingers to interact with a capacitive screen. A resistive touch screen is coated with a metallic electrically conductive and resistive layer that detects the pressure of your finger or another object. This technology is often more affordable than capacitive but can be damaged by sharp objects touching the screen. A SAW, surface acoustic wave, or surface wave touch screen sends ultrasonic waves and detects when the screen is touched by registering changes in the waves. This technology is more advanced than the other two but does not work with hard materials and can be affected by outside elements. Infrared touch screens utilize a matrix of infrared beams transmitted by LEDs with a phototransistor receiving end. The infrared beam is blocked when a finger or other object is near the display. That interruption gives the device input to where your finger or another object is positioned. Touch screens utilize a virtual keyboard to input letters and numbers, allowing users to tap the virtual keys with their fingers. Also, devices like smartphones and tablets have voice recognition for inputting information into the device. Who invented touch screens? Automobiles, airplanes, computers, and steam engines. Touch screens belong in the company of these illustrious inventions because they lack a unique inventor and a definitive, eureka moment of invention. In other words, no single man or woman invented the touch screen. The first invention that bears any kind of resemblance to using a modern touch screen was called a light pen, featured in the photo up above, a stylus with a photo cell in one end, and a wire running into the computer at the other end. that could draw graphics on a screen. It was developed in the early 1950s and formed a part of one of the first computer systems to feature graphics, Project Whirlwind. Light pens didn't really work like modern touch screens, however, because there was nothing special about the screen itself. All the clever stuff happened inside the pen and the computer it was wired up to. During the 1960s and early 1970s, another key strand in the development of touch screens came from the work of computer scientists who specialized in a field called human-computer interaction, HCI, which sought to bridge the gap between people and computers. Among them were Douglas Engelbart, inventor of the computer mouse, Yvonne Sutherland, a pioneer of computer graphics and virtual reality, and Alan Kay, a colleague of Sutherland's who helped to pioneer the graphical user interface, or GUI, the picture-based desktop used on virtually all modern computers. The first gadget that worked in any way like a modern touch screen was called a discriminating contact sensor, and it was patented on October 7, 1975 by George S. Hurst and William C. Caldwell of Ella Graphics Incorporated. Much like a modern resistive touch screen, it was a device with two electrically conducting contact layers separated by an insulating layer that you could press together with a pen. Crucially, it was designed to be operated with the writing instrument the patent drawings show, a pen, and not by any portion of a writer's hand. So it wasn't like a modern, finger-operated touch screen device. Many people think touch screens only arrived when Steve Jobs unveiled Apple's iPhone in 2007, but touch-operated, handheld computers had already been around for 20 years by then. One of the first was the Linus Wright Top, a large tablet computer released in 1987. 5 years later, Apple released the ancestor of its iPhone in the shape of Newton, a handheld computer manufactured by the Japanese Sharp Corporation. Operated by a pen-like stylus, it featured pioneering but somewhat erratic handwriting recognition but was never a commercial success. Touchscreen input and handwriting recognition also featured in the Palm series of PDAs, personal digital assistants, which were hugely popular in the mid-1990s. From iPhones and iPads to ebooks and tablets, all modern touchscreen gadgets owe something to these pioneering inventors and their scribbling machines. Thank you for being with us.